Hello everybody, this is Deathern here. Experimental music throughout history. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna do that. Pantera is one of my top 10 favorite bands of all time, as well with Dimebag Darrell being one of my top 10 favorite guitar players of all time, despite the few controversies.
Wait a minute. We gotta test, see if the nigger can play, dude. If you can't,
They're a band that gets heavier with every album release, from a goofy glam metal band to a steroid-abusing macho groove metal band from Texas that helped popularize the groove metal genre. Pantera was one of the huge metal acts back in the 90s with their 7th studio album, Far Beyond Driven, released in 1994, peaking at number 1 on Billboard's 200. Far Beyond Driven is a phrase that describes the album. The album is mostly angry with guitarist Dimebag Darrell's drop tune, punch-in-the-face guitar riffs, and vocalist Phil Anselmo's angry and personal lyrics until the final track mellows out with a cover of Black Sabbath's Planet Caravan. But gets heavy again if you have a Japanese edition of the album that contains the bonus track of their cover of Poison's Ideas, The Badge. The album includes the band's popular songs like 5 Minutes Alone, I'm Broken, and Becoming. You have underrated songs that include my favorites like Shedding Skin, Hardline, Sunken Cheeks, and 25 Years. But I'm not talking about the album. I'm talking about one track that gets a little overlooked. This is mainly because this track is different from the other tracks on the album, with some fans saying it's not actually a song.
None against Good Friends of Bob Phil, but it's not really a song. It's like some weird shit. It's cool though, I love it.
I'm going to be talking about and analyzing the 5th and shortest track from the album, Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills. This is considered Pantera's experimental song. The reason for writing the song was that, according to Dimebag, musicians tend to get bored playing the same thing over and over, so I think it's natural to experiment. The title may reference the Ted Nugent song, Good Friends and a Bottle of Whiskey, since Pantera are fans of Ted Nugent. In fact, they did a cover of Cat Scratch Fever for the Detroit Rock City soundtrack, which Ted himself wasn't a fan of. I don't have much to say, so let's listen to and analyze this bizarre track. Let's get the general stuff out of the way first. I'm gonna keep it very brief, otherwise you'll get bored. This track is a short one. It's almost 3 minutes long. It's in the measurement of 4/4, or is it 8/8? No, it's 4/4, and the structure goes like this. Intro, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, pre-outro, outro. Okay, general stuff done. Now let's get to the fun parts. Let's begin with the instrumentals. The track begins with a groovy double bass drum beat with the 5-string bass playing simultaneously with the bass drums. It starts tame, but then comes Dimebag pick scratching on the 6th string and some feedback that he turned the volume up to the max. There's no riffage in this song. It's mostly string mute picking playing along with the drum beat. Also, string bending and dive bombs can be heard on the left and right panning.
She called me daddy, I called her baby, and I smacked her ass. I called her sugar when I ate her alive, okay, right?
Then the chorus section pierces your ears with intense high-pitched noises due to Dimebag's pitch shifting pedal, the Digitech Whammy. The drums and bass are the same, except the bass plays the G and F sharp note instead of just the E note. I should mention the drumming is excellent in this track. Man, is Vinny missed. In fact, rest in peace to the whole Abbott family, as Jared Abbott passed away back in April. So the high-pitched guitar dives down and we hear the Floyd Rose bridge creaking as it flattens the strings and returns to the groovy string muting section with more guitar noise. The pre-outro features the whammy-style droning effect from the whammy pedal. The same effect can be heard from the track You've Gotta Belong to It on the Reinventing the Steel album. The outro is the same bass line and drum beat fading out, but with less guitar noise. That's what this track is, a noisy mess. That's what the band thought when listening back after recording the instrumentals, until the vocals were added in later. Now let's talk about the vocals and lyrics and how Rex Brown said it blew the rest of the band's mind. The vocals are mostly spoken words.
You were knocked out, but we were all knocked out, you know.
His raging screams during the chorus sections. And his grunting at the beginning. Now, what is this song about? When talking about the song, Phil Anselmo says the lyrics were inspired by Nick Cave and his post-punk band, The Birthday Party, who were known for graphic topics in Nick's lyrics. According to Phil, the lyrics tell a true story of doing things he isn't proud of but doesn't want to reveal his mistakes to someone he knows. I made a lot of mistakes as a youngster, and to reveal to this particular person who it was about, why it was about, what happened that particular night would not be a very kosher. I can't do it. To this day, I won't do it. It would just be in bad taste. At this point, I don't think that person would want 5 minutes alone with me, unless we have a sip of white wine. Vinnie Paul states that the vulgar lyrics are honest and straight to it, as I would say, they're right in your face. The first verse describes banging a friend's girlfriend behind his back. The girlfriend is mentioned in the second verse, and Phil says he doesn't care who she is or if she's dead or not, he wanted to bang someone. Then before the chorus, it mentions that not only was his friend knocked out, possibly from the bottle of drugs of some sort, but he was knocked out too. In a way. I'm guessing he was physically conscious, but his brain and rationality weren't. Around the time during the making of the album, Phil was abusing alcohol, painkillers, and even heroin, which would lead to his heroin addiction to reduce pain in his back from DDD. The drugs would cause him to say and do some questionable things when the band performed live.
Say white powder?
Phil would use those personal experiences with drugs in some of the songs on the album, even in songs on the later albums too. The chorus says that Phil was out of his mind and he served too many masters. There are two sides of Phil in this song. Phil when he is screaming about the drugs that are taking over him, and the drugs as Phil uses spoken words and what the drugs are doing to him, not to mention being brutally honest. I'm guessing Phil is using masters as another words for the drugs as it takes over his body and Phil obeys what the drugs tell him to do. The second verse talks about going as far as self-harming with a shard glass from the bottle. The two friends will get in on the action, but the drugs would make them unaware of what they were doing. The second chorus lasts a little longer than the first. I read on Genius that there is a moral to this. Drugs, even though they can help with pain, they could risk turning you into an addict and can lead to doing some immoral and irrational things. Phil's screaming he's losing every bit in his mind, and the drugs are like in the final line.
I told you, motherfucker.
And that was Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills. What are my thoughts on this track? I tolerate it. I like the groovy vibe in this. The noisy mess accompanies the spoken word and screaming vocals on the graphic lyrics, but I'm not too crazy about it. There's not one bad song in this album, but I would put it at the bottom of my favorite tracks on this album. The times I want to listen to this is just to hear it to believe it. I can see why it's one of Pantera's unpopular songs, but it doesn't mean the band doesn't play it live. The band played the song during the Far Beyond Driven tour, but Phil said the audience wasn't fans.
Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills. I will tell you, we probably did that like a handful of times. And it did not get the reaction that we would hope.
Pantera cover bands don't play this song mainly because of Dimebag's Noisy Mess. Well, except for this band. However, fans have covered this song on YouTube. Most of these covers I found are drum covers. I found only one bass cover of the song and only 3 guitar covers. One of them features this one guy that looks really familiar. The description said he was the first to cover this song on guitar on YouTube 9 years ago. Good for him. So that's my song analysis. I hope you have a safe, drug-free, and Merry Christmas of 2024. Or 2024, to each their own. Don't expect an update, but a list of possible upcoming videos coming next year, and maybe a New Year resolution list. Tell me what you guys thought about the song in the comments below. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you for watching. This is Death Aaron, and I'm out.